have you been out in today's market? Are you trying to get a home? Have you been competing with others, trying to get your offer accepted and wondering what in the world is going on out here? Well, guys, today I've got your national housing market report that may give you a little bit more insight into what is going on in today's housing market. And if you want a few tips of how to get your offer accepted, I'm going to throw a few tips in there that may help you out on your way. And if you're interested and you just need a little bit more information to figure this whole thing out during this National Home Ownership Month, then please stay tuned. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for the National Housing Market Report. And with June being the National Home Ownership Month, we definitely want to delve into this information and be able to help anybody out there who's looking to buy, and even to help sellers to know what's going on in the marketplace, and they will know that the leverage that they have as a seller in today's market. So thank you for your time again, and let's get into this information. So as we all know, let's talk about the obvious, the inventory, right? So with the inventory being low, that leads to the basic thing of economics again, supply and demand. So this has been for a couple of months now. We've been talking about supply and demand, and it's still the same thing right now because the supply is low and the demand is very high, which is leading to that fierce competition out there of buyers competing for homes and leading to multiple offers. So it really is leaving some buyers out of their dream home and leaving others competing and having to put up more financial strength, show more financial ability to be able to purchase the home, or to waive contingencies, or to do all sort of things to try to get into their dream home or to get in a home. So we're seeing a lot out there right now. So let's look at some information from our experts. And first we'll look at this quote right here from Zelman, the Zelman Broker Survey. So looking at this slide here, it says, this month our broker contacts reported a continuation of robust demand and intense competition from buyers to win houses with bidding wars, all cash offers, waive contingencies, and rent-free leasebacks, increasingly common in many markets. And this is according to the Zelman Broker Survey. So you guys, we are definitely seeing that. And there has been a lot of all cash offers, and not just from investors, but from others as well. You also have to be aware that people are moving from other states where maybe the cost of living is higher than our cost of living, and they sold their previous home and they have the funds maybe to be able to offer a cash offer, or there's other instances where buyers are using different means where they can offer cash offers as well. And then there's the people who are waiving contingencies. So they may be waiving that appraisal contingency, or they may be waiving the financial contingency, or even the inspection contingency. So all sort of things are being done in today's market to make their offer to be stronger so that they can win their home of their dreams, right? So a lot of things going on out there. So I want to show you this next slide, which shows you the seller traffic across the United States, and what's that's really looking out to give you a visual of what's really going on out here with real estate. Okay, so let's look at this slide. And in this slide, you will see of seller traffic in the United States. Again, I always start in my state, which is Tennessee. And you will see there's different colors here. So you see the light gray, the dark gray, light blue, a little darker blue. In Tennessee, we have the light gray, which is showing weak seller traffic. Okay, and then you see states like Arkansas with the darker gray, and Indiana darker gray, which is showing very weak seller traffic. But then you see that darker blue color there in West Virginia. They having the stronger seller traffic, which you don't see too many of those on there. And then you see, of course, the lighter blue, which shows a stable seller traffic. But moreover, you see a lot of that lighter gray and some areas of darker gray, which is showing you that there is weak or very weak seller traffic across the United States. And this is according to the National Association of Realtors. So it is not just in one state, or not just in Tennessee, or maybe in your state, but there's across the United States. So if we look at our next slide here, I want to show you the buyer traffic. So looking at buyer traffic, to contrast, we can see that buyer traffic across the United States, you got a lot more of that darker blue and some lighter blue, and you don't see any, well, I take it back, you see a little gray over in Delaware, but mostly across the United States, you see that darker blue color there is showing very strong buyer traffic, and that lighter blue color, or not as light blue color there, is saying strong buyer traffic. So very strong and strong buyer traffic across the United States, with the exception I can see there of Delaware, where it is a lighter gray, which is showing weak buyer traffic. So overall, when you compare and contrast the two, seller traffic, you got hardly any seller traffic, but you got that robust demand of buyer traffic in the marketplace looking for a home, and very little to pick from, right? Because there's not as many sellers out here selling their home at this time. As we have seen, though, there's been like gradual increases, but overall we are still in a low inventory market or a seller's market, because there's just not enough homes out there for our buyers. Okay, so we'll look at this next slide here, and we will see here the month's inventory. I want to go to that one. The month's inventory of homes for sale. Okay, when you look at this graph here, it is showing the last 12 months. It kind of shows from to April, you see here, but sometimes the data is back a little bit. But month's inventory of homes for sale. So you can see in May, back in previous May, we had in the 2020, it was 4.6 months of inventory of homes for sale. And as the months has progressed, you can see in January of 2021 that we was at 1.9 months inventory of homes for sale. Very, very low there. And we have inched up just a little bit. And in April, you can see where the months of inventory actually came up to 2.4 months. And this is according to the National Association of Realtors. Okay, and what I can tell you is, in a healthy market, now usually they will say 6 months of inventory is considered a stable market. And what this means is that if we were to not put any more listings out there on the market, then the time that it would take for these listings to evaporate or to be gone would be that 2.4 months. It would take 2.4 months for that whole amount of inventory to be gone. So it's really showing us we are not in that healthy, stable market, which would be about 6 months of inventory. So again, buyers are really competing out here. So as promised, some buyers are wondering, well, what do I need to do to get into the home of my dreams? And what can I do to make my offer stand out? Well, a lot of times now, because there are so many multiple offers, you'll find that people are offering very much so the asking price and well above the asking price. Okay, but sometimes when the house is appraised, that house may not appraise for as much as what the person put in over. So if the price is $200,000 and maybe the person wrote their offer for $210,000. Okay, so but the house didn't only appraise for the $200,000. So now they got to come up with, can come up with that $10,000 over, that appraisal value. They have to come up with that. So they have to have proof of funds. So it is a very wise idea to have proof of funds when you are making these offers as well. Like if you're going above, in case it doesn't come back, that you already have, like I say, your ducks in a row, like, and you know that you can provide proof of funds for that extra amount, especially if this is the home like you've been waiting for, this is it, and you really like this home and you don't want to miss out. You need to be able to show that your pre-approval, your proof of funds, everything. Okay, so another way, usually, and I would say like in a regular time market, which we are not in, but in the normally you will see that buyers sometimes may ask the seller to pay their closing costs. Well, we're in a seller's market where they're getting multiple offers, and sometimes buyers may want to offer to pay the seller's closing costs as a way to help get their offer accepted. This is another tactic that some people are using to try to get their offer accepted. Okay, so there are many different things along with waiving those contingencies. Some people are waiving the inspection contingency. They waive the contingency on finances, or they waive the contingency on the appraisal. There's also a thing called an escalation clause that you can use to get your offer accepted. So say for instance, you wanted to offer $250,000 on a home. Well, you really like this home. Okay, so you want to make sure your offer is in there, is strong, and has a good chance of being accepted. So you offer the $250,000, and you are willing to go up until maybe 270, I don't know, 270,000. So you say, well, I will offer $1,000 above the highest offer, but you want to put that cap on it up to this amount, and then up to that 270,000. So that's your cap. So you're not going above that amount. So that protects you. So you ain't just going and going. But that's like an escalation clause. So you want to talk to your agent about how you can write that into your offer as a way to try to get your offer accepted. Okay. So, and of course, we probably all heard of one way, which is when buyers tend to write the seller, some people call it a love letter, or a letter to just say how much they like the property, they see themselves in the property, they really love this, they feel like it's a family home. They're really like pouring everything into this letter and saying how much they really like the property, trying to convey to the seller how much they really would love to be the next owner and be in the property and would take care of that property and so forth. So writing a letter sometimes can help your offer to stand out. And don't be quick to assume sometimes that sellers want a quick close. Some sellers do not want a quick close. Some sellers need to stay a little longer, and maybe you can provide that to them. Maybe you're not in a hurry like some other people, and that will help you with your offer. Also, you see leasebacks. So people sometimes don't know what the leaseback is, but leasebacks are when you as the buyer, after you have everything's gone through, you allow the seller to lease back the property or to stay there for however long they stay there. And some people allow them to stay there for free, that free lease back, so that their offer can stand out. And that helps the seller, and that will help you to acquire the property as well. And so they kind of write that into the offer. So again, these are a few things that buyers are doing to help get their offer accepted. But these are things that you may consider if you're trying to buy a home and get your offer accepted. But talk to your real estate agent, or if you don't have an agent, you can look up a strong agent like myself to help you with the job of getting into your next dream home. And then for sellers, wow, think of all the leverage you have in this market as a seller. You have multiple offers coming your way, and with all of these things trying to be done to acquire a property, you can really pick which thing you need to see happen. If you need to stay there a little longer, or if you need some help with closing costs, or if whatever you need to see happen, you can kind of look at all these offers and see which one is going to be of the most benefit to you, even if that's not the highest cash, even if that's not the cash offer or the highest price offer, but maybe there's some things in there that you really need to happen in order to make this move and everything a success for you. So really being able to leverage this and looking at all these offers, one that's going to be the best for you. So again, guys, that's a little tips within this market report. So I'm going to get back to the market report and looking at my notes here. So of course we're seeing more buyers than sellers in this market, and we always talk about price appreciation. So the price values are continuing to appreciate on homes, and values are going up. So we want to look at this next slide, home price appreciation, or home price forecast, for 2021. And I don't even like looking at this because the last home price forecast in the last market report, I think, was at definitely a lower percent than this one. But even over the last month's data and information that's come in, this average of all these forecasts have increased. So home price forecast 2021, we are looking at the experts of the MBA, NAR, Fannie Mae, Zelman, and Freddie Mac. And you can see that they have forecast that home prices will continue to appreciate. MBA with an estimate of 10.3%, NAR with an estimate of 9.2%, Fannie Mae with an estimate of 8%, Zelman estimate of 7%, and Freddie Mac with an estimate of 6.6%. And that average of all of these experts being an 8.2% average of all forecasts. And that is an increase from the last market report. So now they're saying an 8.2% average of all of these forecasts. So guys, we're seeing price appreciation. Of course, we know, again, looking at that demand and supply. So, and then with prices appreciating because of that high demand, also and low supply. So let's look at this year over year graph too. Okay, so year over year, we can look at the price appreciation year over year, Q1 2021. And you can see the different regions of the United States, different areas here. We can see it east, north, central area. There's a 12.1% overall price appreciation. West, north, central, 11.3% price appreciation. Pacific, 14.3% price appreciation, and so forth. But what really stands out here, you can see in that red, is that mountain area. Look at their price appreciation. It's 15.7% year over year. So in that mountain region, they are really seeing their price values, really go up. And overall in the United States, we're seeing a 12.6 price appreciation year over year. So it's not just in one area, it is seen all over the United States. We are seeing price appreciation. And then I'm looking at this quote here from Bill McBride. It says, if inventory increases slowly, house prices will continue to rise rapidly. And if inventory increases sharply, house price growth will slow. And my area, I consider like seeing these inventory increasing slowly. We slowly see from month to month a little bit more homes coming on the market, which is a cautionary tale to sellers, because if you're thinking about selling your home, you definitely want to, you probably want to look at this as a factor, because as more homes come on the market, it's going to make your home stand out less. I mean, the buyers are going to have more to choose from. So, which is a great thing for buyers, but as a seller, and wanting to get the most and keep getting all these multiple offers as the year goes on, we may see that drop off, especially as interest rates are projected to rise, right? So as a seller, if it's something that you've been considering or you've been wanting to do, you definitely want to look at these factors and knowing what the market is telling us and showing us through this data, and thinking about what you want to do and making that decision while you can still get these multiple offers and still choose which one you may want to, which one's going to work out for you. So this is great information that we're getting from these experts, and as we are seeing it for ourselves. So let's look at this next slide here, and this is telling us about the decline in single family permits. Now, before I get too much in this slide, we know from other past market reports where we have talked about that one reason we're in a low inventory situation is because of new construction, right? Because there hasn't been that new construction coming is like year over year, we've been in such a deficit with new construction and homes being built. But this slide here will give us more information about those permits. And it says, from Robert Dietz, the chief economist at National Association of Home Builders, the decline in single-family permits indicates that builders are slowing construction activity as costs rise. While housing starts were strong at the beginning of the year due to home builders constructing homes that were sold pre-construction, higher costs and limited availability of building materials have now paused some projects. And we know that lumber is reason in that too, because of the rising cost of lumber. And so that has had an effect, of course, on new construction. All right, so again, more of the same. We're seeing that that's one of the reasons why we don't have as much inventory, and people just have not put their homes on the market. They are thinking that one of the things with the vaccines, of course, that coming out, that more sellers may start to feel more comfortable with putting their homes on the market, and maybe that's something we will see in coming months as well, that more homes also will be on the market. But with new construction, we can see that there is a decline in those permits now. So, okay. All right, price appreciation. Home prices will continue to rise. They are projecting gradually that we will continue to see them rise. That's still something that they are forecasting. That's not going away, looks like, anytime soon. Okay, so let's look at housing affordability. All right, we know that housing affordability is something that's based on the interest rates. When we look at the work, for income and what people get, the wages, and interest rates, prices, and their wages. So when we look at this information, we can look at it in accordance with people renting. When you get ready for home ownership and you have set your sights on acquiring a home, and maybe you have saved for your down payment, maybe you have saved for closing costs, and you are ready to have home ownership, some people are still contemplating, making that move. But experts are saying that we need to stop seeing it as a reward to financial success and seeing it as a means to financial success. And you think about it now, with the prices appreciating, you can get in while the interest rates are low, and you can still have that time to build up as prices continue to appreciate. You build up that value in your home. So it could be a way of acquiring financial success and not just a reward of financial success. And we can see that in a quote from Mark Fleming here. And it says, housing affordability on a year-over-year basis declined in March for the first time since January 2019, ending a more than 2-year streak of rising affordability. House buying power is likely to remain robust in the months to come, but affordability trends will likely hinge on changes in nominal house price appreciation. So they're looking at, also with price appreciating, them being able to get in the home in the first place too, right? So everything is relative, and just trying to position themselves to be able to get into a home. Another quote from Mark Fleming says, looking back at the bubble years, house prices exceeded house buying power in 2006 nationally, but today house buying power is nearly twice as high as the median sale price nationally. Many find it hard to believe, but housing is actually undervalued in most markets, and the gap between house buying power and sale prices indicates there's room for further house price growth in the months to come. So they're kind of projecting that some of these homes may be undervalued, which is hard to believe. But they're saying because buyers are still able to buy it and they're still considered to be affordable. You need to be careful not to overextend yourself. If you know that that's something personally that you can't afford, or you're dipping into a lot of savings and you're pulling out funds and you're doing everything you can and it's just not there for you, or maybe, as sometimes people don't like to look at sometimes those fixer-upper homes, but that's something to even consider, because I have seen some very nice homes, which are solid, homes, but they just need that cosmetic look, fixing up, just some paint, just a little what to call it, look, sweat, with a little work into it for yourself, sweat equity, and being able to put a little work into it, and then you can have you a very nice home, and you can get those homes at a lower that costs less than other homes that may be all nice and fixed up, but you got a good foundation area. It's a solid home, but it just needs a little sprucing, and you can bring your own touch to it. So it's something to consider in this market, especially too, right? So with that being said, let's look at this next slide. It is the percent of the median income needed to purchase the median price home. And when you look at 2006, during the crash and stuff, and the housing crash, it was 25.4% of the median income was needed to purchase the median price home. But today, only 14.4% of the median income is needed to purchase the median price home. So they're still considering that to be affordable. When we look at this slide here, it says, contrary to popular belief, owning one's home is frequently more affordable than renting. It is cheaper to buy a home than it is to rent in 2 out of 3 American counties. So with June being National Home Ownership Month, we do encourage home ownership. Then there's different benefits to home ownership, the personal side, being able to relax, having that place where you can go home to at the end of the day. You can decorate and paint the walls, do whatever you want to do in your own home, right? And then building up that equity that some people use later on for their kids going to college, or for starting a business, or for different reasons. So there are different benefits of home ownership, and we do encourage home ownership, especially during June, which is National Home Ownership Month. Okay, so I want to give you guys one more thing here about top financial advice that we're seeing from the experts. And we'll look at this one from JP Morgan, which says, home buyers, interest rates are still historically low, though they are inching up. Housing prices have spiked during the last 6 to 9 months, but we don't expect them to fall soon, and we believe they are more likely to keep rising. If you are looking to purchase a new home, conditions now may be better than 12 months hence. Those who remember the housing bubble of 2006-2007 may be nervous watching U.S. housing prices soar, but the previous bubble was fueled by speculative buying, which we do not think is the case today. So today we're seeing like people just needing a home. Like, we don't see that more speculative type buying in today's market. So that's encouraging. And we also know that people are looking at housing as more so of an investment these days, and getting to a home. We've seen that with millennials even trying to get investment properties as well. So when look at this graph, it says American choice of best long-term investment. 41% believes that real estate is the best long-term investment. Okay, and then according to Gallup, the 41% choosing real estate is the highest selecting any of the 5 investment options in the 11 years that Gallup has been asking this question. So more and more people are believing that real estate is a way to build wealth. It's a great investment to choose, right? So it's something to consider. So guys, that basically concludes this National Housing Market Report. I hope you found something of value. We are still seeing the same thing with that low inventory, buyers trying to get a home, and sellers having a lot of leverage. There will be probably more homes starting to come on the market, but we probably going to continue to see that price appreciation all the way through the end of the year. And then we're may see interest rates rise, which may slow down a little bit of that demand, but you definitely have leverage as a seller. And if you're a buyer, think about those tactics and ways of getting your offer accepted and discussing those with your real estate agent. So guys, that wraps up the National Housing Market Report for the month of June. And if you have not done so already, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and so you can be notified of when I put out other videos as well. I thank you so much, and you guys have a great rest of your day, and best wishes in all your real estate needs and everything that you do. So have a great one, you guys. Bye-bye. Hey guys, don't forget to get my free buyer and seller guides. Click the link in the description. Get you some great information when you're thinking about selling your home this summer or buying a home this summer. It's loaded with great information to help you out along the way. Click the link in the description today. Thank you. Have a great one.